Anybody getting a late dinner? Doesn't appear so.
A few more questions, if you don't mind.
Did you know Kate Vine was a prime candidate?
No.
Okay. Thanks for your time.
Do you know what a prime candidate is?
At Atlas. Is the best student.
And what does that mean?
It means they get a guaranteed job with a very good salary. Well, that's the idea anyway.
But?
Mostly they aren't up to it.
What happens then?
They get sacked.
What? So they get the top job, and then they're bad, so they get fired. Is this correct?
What do you know about poppy pods?
Go on.
Ever come across anyone trying to sell them or anything like that? Maybe even in here?
Not that I remember.
Fair enough. See you
That's all
later.
for the moment. Thank you.
Next, we will speak to James. Well, no, it's 12. Lisa might be back. Or she might be dead. Yeah, we're going to do the classic walkabout again.
A couple more questions, if that's okay.
Well, alright,
Be
never
back
mind,
later on,
James.
if
See you
that's
later.
okay.
Hey, chat, do you like schnitzel? Is this a ligma, or are you actually asking about a food product? Because, I mean, who doesn't like a fried meat cutlet? Take a schnitz on these nuts? It's just foul.
A few more questions, please. Thank you.
What do you know about poppy pods?
Poppy pod?
Ever come across anyone selling them, using them?
This guy's old enough to have been in an actual opium den, so I don't buy this at all.
What are prime candidates?
The best of the bunch. The peaches.
And so what does it mean to be a prime candidate?
Success. We have a special relationship with many major international companies. We provide them with our best students. And they get an instant job.
And what do you get out of it?
Well, it's a little kickback. It's just business, Inspector.
Are you a human trafficker?
Was Kate a prime candidate?
Well, as Ryan has probably already told you, yes, she was.
Did you ask Simon to test her?
Yes, it's company policy. Leaders don't get involved.
And it covers your back, of course.
Well, nobody knows the students better than they do, Inspector. It's much better to let them just work it out among themselves.
It isn't very professional to force students to test each other to the point where one of them gets killed, Paul.
We don't force students to do anything that they don't want to do, Inspector.
So you don't force them into being tested?
No, we don't encourage anybody to hurt or offend anybody else here.
You don't use threshold testing, for instance?
No. If Simon Thompson went too far with Kate, that's his responsibility, not ours. He's the one you should be speaking to, if truth be told. I don't trust him myself.
Yo, Simon's just the fall guy, 100%. They don't use threshold testing, and yet, and yet, and yet, and yet, and yet... The thing is... Now, the mirror room's used for meditation. Oh, the CD mentions the threshold test. You are correct.
Aha. You say you don't endorse threshold testing? That's the phrase, isn't it?
Yes.
Except you do, Paul. Because you told me that the students use that CD in the mirror room. I've listened to that CD, and it very clearly mentions threshold testing. You keep batting this away, Paul. We don't really use hypnosis. The students aren't really tested, but I am this close to launching a full-scale investigation.
Look, we get a kickback from these students, and they have to be exceptional. Of course we have to test them. That doesn't mean we do anything illegal. What do you think we do? Bump off the ones we don't like?
Well, that depends on how far you push them, doesn't it?
Well, we certainly don't kill them. Nobody here wanted Kate dead.
I'm sure they didn't. But what do you expect, Paul, when you put students under that much pressure?
She was a very, very valuable student. She was worth a lot to the business.
Really? And how much would that be?
But if you really want to know, 50 grand.
She was worth 50 grand.
Yes.
What, you were selling her?
Of course we were selling her. You don't get this, do you? We make perfect employees. Month after month. That's all we do.
What do you mean, perfect employees?
What big business needs, Inspector, more than anything else, is none of this altruistic, goody-goody crap.
Is this
What we
Paul
look
Ryan?
for is people with ambition, no ethics, push, greed is good, all right? We don't deal with all this comfort stuff. The survival of the fittest, that's all there is. There's no higher purpose, no big plan. There's nothing at the end of the rainbow, except what you have and you can enjoy in the here and now.
And what do you enjoy now, Paul?
You're gonna have to excuse me, Inspector. I'm a very busy man. I've got work to do.
It's midnight on a Friday and you're 100 years old. It's the worst lie of them all.
I'll see myself out.
Oh, it is in the dead of night.
Lovely man, your father.
Shut the gate on your way out.
It's so blue I can barely see.
He's doing his level best to shut this place down. Get rid of him.
He's a policeman. We can't just...
You sort this, right? You man up and you sort it. Tonight.
The villainous Kyle. Also, shut the gate, though. Like, you're not a monster. Thank you. Okay. Now.
That doesn't sound good. Two totally morally bankrupt men are plotting to get rid of me. It's midnight. I don't have any backup and I don't even have a mobile phone. This is potentially quite bad. And what's Kyle got to do with it? I think I might make my way over to Atlas while Ryan isn't there. Maybe lock myself in.
Genius.
Damn.
Oh!
I suppose it was too much to hope that Ryan had left the place open.
Call the chief, please? I refuse. Screwdriver doesn't work. There's also a key, though. There's no use for the silver key. Oh, okay. Let's just go for a little walk in the woods, then. You know? What could go wrong? I knew it.
Prove to me that you're man enough to do this, Kyle, and then you can deal with that ridiculous police inspector.
What? Is that Emma?
What is this? What the hell? Scotland Yard. Not hell. Hello, Ryan.
Hello, Jinx.
Inspector, what are you doing here?
Inspecting. So, come on. Let's have it.
I don't think you'd understand, Inspector. The best thing that you can do is turn around, go away.
Could you perhaps disarm this man?
That knife gives me a perfect right to stick my nose in, investigate, and interfere.
This is all part of the Atlas course. It's a physical endurance exercise.
Drop the knife. The knife, Kyle!
Kyle. Drop it! Drop it.
Not looking 100% brilliant for you, Ryan.
Well, please, Inspector, you've poked your nose into Atlas's affairs enough times to know that imaginative flair is part of the course's success. Our lessons are reinforced by a unique emotional experience.
Terror?
It's an extremely evocative tool.
Well, it's a good job you're not in charge of the national curriculum.
Oh, British
I know
education
what you're
joke.
trying to do. I know what you're thinking. But believe me, Atlas had nothing to do with the deaths of those people.
Eyewitness account of a satanic sacrifice in the woods. That's not what we call circumstantial evidence, Ryan.
Simon. Now, I saw Simon walking home with Kate last Friday after the meeting. Now, Simon had some strange idea that he was in the running to become prime candidate. Well, a knob of butter has more chance of becoming prime minister. Oh, wait.
So you telling me?
Oh, no.
Simon killed her. Well, it seems reasonable. It's likely, isn't it?
Any more likely than you?
But the
Ryan?
bumch.
Pig! I know. Police brutality.
It's all right. Are you okay?
Take the mask off, you weirdo. Jenks, you're so weird. You gotta at least identify the victim. Mostly because I know it's Emma. Now that we know it's Emma, if we had that proof, we could go back and get her to sing like a canary.
Ask you a couple more things,
Just a
please.
totally normal cop knocking on your window at 12 a.m.
Did Simon mention walking home with anyone after the meeting last Friday?
No, he just came home. Why?
He didn't mention walking home with Kate.
No, definitely not.
Do you know whether Kate was in the running to be prime candidate or not?
I don't, but I do think she would have been chosen just because she was.
Oh,
you
watch
know,
out, you got a
Kate.
booger.
You didn't discuss it with Kate.
So do you. But well,
No, she never
we
told
got a
you
little
about this.
boogie right there. Okay.
Okay,
Visit
that's
Simon.
it for now. Thank you.
Simon, Ryan has accused you of potentially murdering Kate Vine.
What would you say if I said it's been suggested that you were seen walking home with Kate after Atlas last Friday?
What? By who?
The same
You
person
mean by
who
whom?
suggested that you wanted Kate out of the picture because you found out she was in the running to be prime candidate.
Who said that?
Just a question.
I didn't think I was in the running. It was Ryan, wasn't it?
I am in no position to say.
It was Ryan.
Simon, calm down.
No, I can prove it. Kate's driving license, give it to me.
Why?
Kate's driving license, please. See that pattern on the tape there? Let me show you something.
Watch out, he's got a book!
See this pattern? Now look at that. It's the same pattern. This has come from the same roll of tape as this.
So?
So there's only one person that's taped like that. Ryan. He gave me this piece of tape when I was in his office once. Why has Kate's driving license got a piece of Ryan's tape on it?
I have no idea, Simon.
Where did you find it?
Oh, by the lake.
It's obvious, isn't it? Ryan was testing her. He was doing a boundary test to see how much she would do, how far she would go to be a prime candidate. But it all went wrong. Okay. It's one of the things we do at the course.
I'm so sick of hearing
You
about the
give
course,
something
man.
that's important to you to someone else, then they go and hide it somewhere. It's to teach you to not be bothered when you lose something that's important to you, all right? Kate gives her driving license to Ryan. Ryan goes and hides it somewhere down the lake. Kate finds out, she goes down looking for it, probably drunk, and she falls in.
I'm afraid I find that a bit far-fetched, Simon.
It makes perfect sense if you know anything at all about how Atlas
But
works.
Simon, if you got the tape from Ryan, Kate could have got it from him.
Or from
He
the
told me
tape
he doesn't
store.
lend it out.
He lent it to you.
It's very
I
important,
didn't kill her.
sentimental,
Do a
bespoke
lab test
tape.
on the card. His DNA will be all over it.
And what if yours is all over it?
It won't be. I didn't kill her. I'm sorry. Just give me a minute. I need some painkillers.
Well, we've lost Simon. He's getting a gun. Jenks. Pull out your whistle. Fight fire with fire.
Where did he go in such a hurry? Is he trying to act as suspiciously as possible?
Take out the screwdriver. It's true. You think he's at the lake? We always get a cutscene at the jetty. No? Okay. What, he's at Atlas. He used his keys to get into Atlas. And that's gonna let us get into Atlas. That bird sound. He went to Lisa Blint's house.
Just a few more questions, if you don't mind.
Do you know anything about this patterned sticky tape?
Ever seen tape like this anywhere before?
No.
Do you know how well Simon knew Kate?
Not really.
Did you ever see them together?
So why do you think he killed her?
I've no idea. Do you think he'd be capable of that?
Do you think we're all capable of it?
We didn't really come here for a
Sure.
philosophical discussion.
So you've never been in your police car responding to an incident? Driven past a school at high speed?
Don't know. Maybe.
Well, you've answered your own question then. When you've got a need and things get in your way, it's human nature to either ignore them or get rid of them. Any way you can. That's all murder is, isn't it?
Maybe you're right.
But maybe he's not
Thank
at
you.
all right.
Probably be back later.
My dude's just begging the question. Take me to Ryan's house where we're gonna confront Simon. We can't go into Ryan's house. Okay. We can go behind Ryan's house. We're gonna go to the pub, and they're gonna be in the back of the pub. He's going to be having dinner in the restaurant. I agree. Watch out, they're sold out of the crab souffle. Okay, ring the bell.
Ask about a few more things, please.
Hey, your husband's trying to kill me.
Have you seen patterned tape like this anywhere before?
Oh, Ryan's got some. I know because I borrowed it.
But
was
it
that?
means so much to
Couple months
him.
ago?
Have you still got it?
I don't think so. I haven't seen it since then.
Thank you. Probably be back later.
You're right, he never lends it out. Sorry. I need to go
Couple more
speak with
questions,
you.
if that's okay? That's all for the moment. Thank you.
Sure, it may be his wife, but he said he never lends it out, even to her. Please. Alright, I mean, we can speak to Emma and be like, hey, do you know where your boyfriend went?
A few more questions, please. Have you seen this anywhere before?
Oh, what was that?
I've seen it somewhere, but I can't remember. Sorry, no.
You use the scrying mirror? There's a demon in the
Be
room?
back later on, if that's okay.
People are saying pub window, but like when we went behind, we were unable to investigate the window. The window is there, you can see the garbage bag. But how are we supposed to interact with this? Use the tape? There's no use for the pattern sticky tape here. Use the torch? There's no use for the red torch here. Hold up. Because she taped up the window. Ah, I see your contradiction. Sorry, I clicked on the wrong one there. So we are going to tell Rebecca you haven't seen the tape for 2 months, but yet you taped up the broken window with that same tape. Ryan's special, bespoke, individual tape that he never lends out. Well.
You last saw that sticky tape 2 months ago, is that correct?
Yes.
So how come you used it last week to tape over the broken window outside? That's the same tape.
Well, I must have been mistaken.
You see, the reason I'm asking is that it's exactly the same tape that was found attached to Kate's driving license, found at the scene. The tape that only Ryan has. Ryan, and of course, you.
So what are you saying?
Who's got the tape now? Do you know
The
where
murder
it is?
weapon.
No.
The
No,
sticky
I don't know where
tape.
it is. Why are you asking me about this tape?
You seem nervous, Rebecca. Is there a problem?
Well, you're practically accusing me of having something to do with that woman's murder, aren't you?
I wasn't accusing you of anything, Rebecca. Unless there's something you'd like to tell me.
No, I wouldn't like to tell you anything.
Okay, well, that's fine. Obviously, we'll be swabbing everyone in the area for DNA, so if anything comes up on Kate's license, DNA traces.
What'll come up? Nothing will come up. Right, I've had enough. I've got to get back.
Rebecca! Would you like to explain to me exactly what is going on?
It all started at the
Which
tape
meant the fact that
factory.
some leggy bitch was trying to steal my husband.
Oh.
I think
Motive.
you had better tell me what you know, Rebecca.
Okay, you want to know what I know? Kate Vine seduced my husband and was going to blackmail him. Not only did she sleep with him, that whore did it just for his money, our money.
How did you work that out?
I heard her. I knew it was her arguing with Emma Bowman. Emma was trying to talk her out of it.
And how did she come to be at the lake?
She dropped that driving license thing when she came in. She was drunk. She dropped her bag. I took it out to the woods and stuck it over the lake. Then I waited for her. When she came out, I told her where it was, that someone had just run off into the woods with it.
You led her to the lake.
She was reaching out over the lake to get it. I didn't do anything. She just fell in.
But you let her drown.
It was dark. I couldn't see anything.
It was
I couldn't help
blue.
her.
Really? Did you try, Rebecca?
Well, it was too late. She was just flapping about in the water. It was pathetic. She was making these gurgling sounds.
And what did you do?
I got a big stick. I just pushed her down with it until she stopped. Well, she was dead anyway. What did it matter?
You killed her, Rebecca.
But she slept with my husband.
She didn't, Rebecca.
What do you mean?
You got the wrong girl.
Who? Emma. It was Emma.
Rebecca Rand, I am arresting you for the murder of Kate Vine. You do not have to say anything, but anything you do say may be taken down and will be used in evidence against you. Do you understand?
Yes.
Also, now it's illegal to push somebody down under the water with a big stick until they die.
It was a tragic case of mistaken identity. But there are some loose threads here. What was Ryan doing with Kyle and that girl in the woods? What if I hadn't interrupted? And what really happened to Liam last year? It seems I've only scratched the surface of Atlas and the Rand business empire. Trying to find out about Paul Rand's past is like peering into dense fog. He gives nothing away and covers his tracks with military efficiency. However, what is known is that Paul Rand has a lot of connections in high places, politicians, celebrities, business leaders. Perhaps James Wilson's ideas weren't too wide of the mark after all. I get the feeling there's still a lot more to learn about the Rand business empire.
You're gonna have to excuse us. Atlas is closed for the moment, but we'll be open again very soon. Thank you for your interest.
Is there anything worse than, like, sequel bait when you are playing it many years after it came out and know there's no sequel? Of course, Ana Rosa de Ezeguera Butler, Emma Bowman. You remember her. And Chris Jackson, of course, in his pivotal turn as the Woods Drunk. I will say, I do think the ending was real bad. It did almost like, well, I don't want to say what I was going to say because it's kind of like it's a spoiler for a different game. But they did something that another game did where they built up a more interesting story, and then at the end we're like, all that stuff that you were getting invested in with the occult and etc., etc. Nah, don't worry about that too much. She was just sleeping with her husband. The whole mystery literally hinged on the tape. You're telling, dude, that's the thing. You never know. The littlest details can break it wide open. They ran out of money during production. I mean, it's a pretty good effort considering that. I really thought that was going to be like a post-credit stinger, but instead it was just them high-fiving. Oh no, did one of the actors die working on it? In which case, I take back all the criticism I had of it. Chance of playing Shibuya 428, 0. Go to Atlas, please. I hear that game is absurdly long. Village power rankings now. What? Just want to. What was I gonna say? I forgot what I was saying. Cat, you can't lay on my hand. Oh, I heard Shibuya was like 30 hours long, but power rankings. Well, it turns out like James was right. So I think James has got to be very high. Following that, let me think. Simon... Oh, yeah, Drunk Man in the Woods is actually number 1. I agree. Emma is like 1 above the bottom. Paul is definitely at the bottom. Ryan is 1 ahead of Paul. Emma's 1 ahead of Ryan. I think it goes... The top is like Woods... Well, Kyle maybe is the worst, actually. But let's start. Woods drunk. James. Lisa. Simon. Now we've crossed the middle point here. Weirdly enough, I'm like, Rebecca is over Ryan, Kyle, Emma, and Paul. But why did Simon run? Well, we gotta wait for the sequel. You may disagree with my power rankings, but that's because you would be wrong. I mean, of course, Jenks was, he's up there. Oh, Ruka! Why? He's such a baby, like...